Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a power review, season 5, episode 9. There's a snitch among us, so this video is really late. So I'm just going to try to touch on the key points to give my opinion. I don't want to make it too long. I had a busy week, so that's why this video is very late. And I'm sure you guys watched other reviewers and they did a recap of the show. You guys watched the show, so we're just going to discuss what happened. So the show opens with Tommy, Ghost, Tasha arguing about like who actually set Kanan up, who went over and did all this. And Tasha and Tariq admitted that it was them. And Tommy really couldn't believe that Ghost wasn't involved in it or whatever. So yeah, that's basically how all that went down. And then Tariq came in there talking about the reason why everything is solved is because of him and all this stuff. So he trying to basically take the credit for everything that was done, instead of like sharing it among everybody else, because everybody else had like a hand in this except for Tommy and Ghost. But Tariq want to take the credit for everything, and then him and Ghost get into it, and Ghost say he's going to take him back to the school, take him to the train station, and he takes him down there, but he didn't watch Tariq get on the actual train. Him and Tariq was standing out there arguing, and Ghost telling him that he doing all this so he can stop him from becoming in his criminal life, but Tariq want to be this criminal so bad, and he telling Ghost, teach me the game, Ghost. And I'm like, they let Tariq get away with murder because Tariq talked to them any kind of way. If that was me growing up, I wouldn't have any teeth in my mouth. Like, Tasha is not a real black mother because she never slapped the piss out of Tariq's mouth throughout this whole, like, since he been acting crazy. And Ghost jacked him up like 1 or 2 times, but he acting like he really scared of him, like they're gonna go to jail or something for child abuse or some junk. I don't know. But he telling him to teach him the game and all that. So Ghost, he wasn't really with it. Ghost ended up just leaving after they got done arguing or whatever. And Tariq obviously didn't go back to the school. He went to go see Vincent, telling Vincent that he need to help him move some weight. I guess Kanan's old weight that Tariq can't get rid of, because he was like, it's easy moving the pills with the kids, but he can't move the weight. He needs somebody to help him move the weight. And I'm like, Tariq, you like what, 14, 15 years old, and you just going to some random drug dealer asking him to help you move weight like you just this big mob boss or something? But Vincent was sketchy in the beginning, but he ended up telling Tariq that he was going to help him. Tariq asked him where he get a fake ID. And he told him, I guess he told him whatever, because we see Tariq later on go down to the morgue and had a fake ID. What his name was? Somebody Stark, whatever Kanan's last name was. And he got Kanan's belongings or whatever. Which is weird, because on the TV they say Kanan had one son, and his one son was already dead, and they think it was a connection. So why would this coroner just randomly believe Tariq with a fake name just because his last name Stark? They already said Kanan had one child. His child dead, so who's Tariq? He can't be the child. Dre got demoted. Alicia goes to him and tell him that Cristobal is in charge now because Diego's head was in the freezer on the last episode. And Dre's still trying to assure her that he's gonna take care of her. She was like, no, your enemy's already 2 steps ahead of you. And she was like, she asked him about when he was going to London or whatever, and he was like, it's put on hold. She was like, my business never gonna hold. Since I'm on hold, you're gonna be on hold. Cristobal is gonna be in charge. And Dre was really mad. You could tell he was mad because all that junk he been talking to Cristobal, and Cristobal don't weasel his way in and got the top spot. Spanky and 2-Bit wasn't in this episode. I missed them though. But I wonder how they gonna react once they find out Cristobal's in charge. But and how they gonna react when Kanan's dead, because they ain't gonna be able to work for Kanan no more, because it was all 2-Bit plan to work for Kanan to turn his back on Dre. But now he got to really actually work with Dre now because Cristobal's in charge and they ain't got nobody else to work with. But yeah, we see Tommy. He driving around with his daddy, telling him all his business, showing him everything, where he keep all his weight at, who's his connect is, just telling him all kinds of information, and it's really crazy. Like, he's just so happy he got a daddy. He'll tell his daddy he shitted in his clothes or something. I don't know. He just... Then we see Ghost pop up there, and he was like, can I talk to you alone? Because Teresi right there. He was like, no, anything you can say in front of me, you can say in front of Teresi. And Teresi ended up leaving, saying he got to go see Sammy anyways. Every time Ghost dismissed Teresi always, he be mad because he want to listen, but he always excused himself and saying he got to go see Sammy. And Ghost and Tommy sit up there arguing, and Ghost tell him about Tariq and all that, and then he said, yeah, your child. He was like, yeah, it's my child. And then he was like, keep my name out your mouth, because anything that have to do with Teresi, just keep my name out of your mouth and all this stuff. And then he was like, I can't believe you don't believe me that I didn't have nothing to do with this. He was like, how can I believe you, Ghost? And then Ghost was like, telling him that Teresi was bad and stuff, and telling him that you could be so close to somebody and not really see them for who they are. And then Tommy stepped up to him like, what you mean, like you? And then he was like, what you mean, like me? He was like, I have to believe you since Tasha and Tariq said that they did it. She was like, you have to? So basically, Tommy and Ghost still don't trust each other. Like, because they keep doing stuff behind each other's back, even though they've been friends since they was children. They still really don't trust each other. I don't think they don't trust each other. I just think that they know somebody, each one of them gonna go behind each other back and they're gonna have to clean it up. I think that's like what it is. And so when Dre got mad, he goes to see Angela, telling Angela he wanna tell something or whatever. And he was like, I got a lot of information on you and James. And she was like, what you got, everybody already know. Unless you got some new information, the best they could do is just fire me. So what else you got? And Dre was looking crazy. And then Dre was telling her how Alicia is Cristobal. She was like, oh, you ain't the distro no more? And he was like, I never was the distro. He's still not owning up to none of this stuff too, just like Ghost not. But and he was like, I could tell you where to find them, because previously Cristobal met with him in the office, and he was like, you ain't mad at me. And he was pretending like he wasn't mad, but you could tell he was mad. And he was like, well, Alicia, she gave me the position. I didn't ask her for the position. He was like, okay, that's fine. And he was asking her what it was mean at. He told Cristobal that it was mean at the. Cristobal told him that it was mean at the hotel later. And he was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah. He's like, for business. He was like, I think she wanted to give me that ass. So Cristobal was like gloating, because you know she was all up on Dre. Maybe Alicia just wants some wee wee, because she was all up on Dre when Diego was alive, and Diego kept shooting it down, but Dre didn't really want her like that. But I don't know. But you know how like somebody who wants you don't want you no more, and they want somebody else, and then you get jealous. That's kind of how I seen what Dre was feeling. And then he ended up telling him the hotel and all that stuff. So back over to Angela. So he told Angela where to find Cristobal and Alicia, because she apparently is still trying to go after them. And we see later on in the episode, Alicia get this phone call and no answer on the other end. And they was kissing all weird and stuff. And then like the police and stuff ran in there. And they were like celebrating the win, because they went back at the office. They finally got Diego, and she was like, Steve Tapio signed off on it, so it wasn't gonna be they're gonna get let go again this time. So that was in the day, and they was in there celebrating all that stuff. And she saw how Mock and Sax was looking hating like they always do. But yeah, so they ended up walking out in the middle of the celebration. Tamika was still in there, and Donovan was still in there. So she walks out, and then she look at the pictures or whatever, because she went into like, I think Mock's office, and it was some pictures of Teresi and Sax and Mox and all that. So in order to cover their behinds, they had like pictures of Teresi talking to them that they said they were going to distribute if he didn't give them any information. So she calls Mock in her office and asks him who his informant was, and it was like Tony Teresi. He was like, Tommy's father. She was like, Tommy got a father? And so everybody like crazy that Tommy actually got a father, because Tasha was the same way. Tommy got a father? When did Tommy get a father? But yeah, and then she took the information. She had already took pictures on her phone of the actual picture. So she took a picture of a picture for evidence. I thought she would just go like email it to herself or send it to James in a text message or something like that. But she didn't. So when Teresi met with Sammy after he left from with Tommy, they was in there having dinner or whatever. Sammy is getting like mad that Teresa's getting close to Tommy, so he ain't gonna really turn Tommy in, because he say that he was gonna turn Tommy in and he had some kind of plan or whatever. So Teresa is quick on his feet, because Sammy keep trying to like figure him out and see if he gonna actually turn Tommy in, because he really want to just turn in James, because he's listening to Connie, because Connie told him that's gonna be his only family when she leaves. But he was like, yeah, he got a plan. He gonna turn in Tommy. They got the operation moving or whatever, and they don't need Tommy no more. So that was the end of that. So later on, we see him, Tommy, and Sammy meet up with their little prison connect, and he come in and he say that the truck got stopped. So I'm like, did Sammy set this up to try? That's what I kept thinking, that Sammy set this up, and it still seemed like he set this up to try to prove to Teresa that Tommy ain't good. He was like, we've been doing this for 25 years and we got stopped. And then Teresa made a point. He was like, why would Tommy get his own product stopped? He gonna be losing money, which is like true, like, but they didn't want to look at it like that. They still think Tommy is the outlier, and Sammy got mad. He was like, ain't nothing bad start happening until you came in the picture. And then they got mad at the connect or whatever, or the prison connect or whatever. But so Sammy and the prison man end up leaving, and Tommy ended up talking to Teresa, and Teresa was like, he know that he didn't do it, he's just trying to calm everybody down, which was really weird, because I was trying to figure out, like, if Sammy actually set this up, or did the truck actually get stopped? Because what if the man just was lying just to get a reaction out of Tommy and all them and Teresa? So what if the man just was lying, him and Sammy was working together, and they just wanted to see how the reaction was going to be? But I don't know, that part was very, very iffy to me. Keisha and Tommy. So Tommy go see Keisha. They sitting up there talking and stuff, and she talking about how it was scary, and because he didn't let it slip that he was talking to Ghost and Tommy. She was like, well, I mean Ghost and Tasha. She was like, I thought you weren't gonna talk to them no more after this was all over. He was like, well, it ain't really old. I had some unfinished business to tend to. And then she was like, it was scary, her testifying and all this stuff, and she didn't know if she could do it or not, but she said, but I did it for you. And then he was like, well, if you want to live this life, that's probably not going to be the first time you're going to be stopped. Which is true. Like, girl, they're going to be calling you in there. Every time they got some old tummy, they're going to be calling you in there, threatening you and all this other crap about what's going on. So you might as well get used to it. And then she was like, well, I know you move weight and stuff, but you ain't never killed nobody, did you? I said, girl, do you see how crazy Tommy is? What you mean he ain't never killed nobody? He ain't never killed nobody yet. Not today. He killed somebody yesterday. Girl. And then we get to Ressie. He's like home or whatever, and he's talking on the phone to Mox or Sax or somebody, because they still keep calling him. And he's talking about how he had information on ghosts and a bunch of murders, because they still trying to figure out the Charlie Murphy murder. And then Sammy like standing in the back. Teresa don't see him. Sammy standing in the back, and he was like, he heard him tell them that Tommy ain't had nothing to do with any of the murders, but he had already told Sammy that he was gonna set Tommy up. So when Sammy saw that, he got mad. But he waited till he hung up the phone, and he confronted him about it. He was like, what do you mean he never did nothing, all this stuff? And they started arguing back and forth, and Tommy walks in while they was arguing. And then Sammy, he's asking him Tommy asked him what's going on. Sammy was like, I'll tell you what's going on, your daddy. And then he just got stabbed. And then Tommy just standing there like confused, because this is the first time he ever seen his daddy like actually kill somebody. Oh no, he killed that other man, the one who shorted them on the money. But Teresa really a killer out here in these streets. And then he was like, what you do that for? He was like, we found the snitch, because they were trying to figure out who was the snitch, because that's the name of this episode. There's a snitch among us. Who was the snitch that actually got their car stopped? So they were trying to figure out who the snitch was. But he told Tommy that he was the snitch. He asked Tommy that to help him clean up the body and his trash bags underneath the sink and all that stuff. And Tommy was down for this kind of stuff. Kill a parents, kill a son, life of crime daddy, life of crime son. That's how they was bonding or whatever. And then we get Angela. She goes over to Ghost at the little club or whatever, and she shows him the picture of Teresa snitching to Mox and Sax. And she told him who the name was and that it was Tommy Daddy. And Ghost was pissed. So he goes down to see Vincent and he tell Vincent was like, you got some kind of nerve showing up here. He was like, what you mean? He was like, oh, somebody told you I tried to steal you. That's not true. He's like, Kanan told you I tried to do something to you. That's not true. And he showed him the pictures of Teresa snitching. And Vincent finally got the confirmation that people around them been saying that Teresa was a snitch, but he kept covering for Teresa because he didn't have enough information. So he was like, so what you want me to do? He was like, we got to have Tommy take him out. He was like, after Tommy take them out, then it'll be good for both of y'all. You can have your connect back and all this and all that. And if you don't want to do that, then that's fine. Just tell Tommy whatever. Just get him taken out. And he was like, fine. So he meet with Tommy later on. He shows Tommy the pictures. Tommy still did not want to believe it. Tommy did not want to believe it. And he showed him the pictures. He was like, I know this dude. So I guess he was talking about, I think he was talking about Mark. Because Mark confronted him one time about some stuff. And then he was telling him how Teresa was a snitch and all that stuff. And Tommy, he was really like heartbroken over this, which we knew he would be, because he been sipping Teresa Kool-Aid so long and it's just crazy. So then we get Tommy, he meet with Teresa later on. They going to go see Connie. And it was like an awkward car ride. You could tell that it was awkward. And he was like, well, you never tell me how you got out. And he was like, well, I told you like it was a crooked DA and all this stuff. And Tommy like, I checked it out and it didn't check out. He was like, well, what is this, Tommy? He was like, we'll finish this conversation later. And he goes in and he see Connie. And Tommy was waiting in the car. I thought he was just going to drop him off and leave and come back or whatever. He was waiting in the car. And he walked in and Connie was like, what's wrong? And then he was just looking crazy. He was like, he knows, don't he? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, but I'm not going to snitch on him. I'm not going to snitch on him. I really have grown to love him. That's my son. And you can see the hurt in Connie's face when he said my son. Because you know she can't have no kids. Or couldn't have no kids or something like that. But Teresa told him he really cared about him, that he wasn't going to snitch. He was just going to snitch on Ghost. And it looked like their final goodbyes or whatever. And then when Teresa left out, he was looking up at the exit sign. I'm like, oh, this is the end for Teresa. So he got back in the car with Tommy. Tommy was wiggling Holly's ring around her neck. And he was like, you know who this belonged to? This belonged to somebody who I love until they betrayed me. And, but now they ain't here no more. And Teresa was looking scared. He was like, okay, Tommy, like, what is this? And he was like, I really did care about you or something like that. He was like, I cared about you too. And they was just driving. He was like, you taking me to see Vincent? He was like, no, I'm taking you home. So they go home. And Teresa like got some kind of like bag of money, and then he get this gun. I'm like, is he about to shoot Tommy? So he stood up and Tommy pulled out his gun and just shot him. Bop, 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 bop. And I'm like, the neighbors don't hear these loud pops, and then they showed a little flash and everything. Ain't nobody called the police or nothing. But yeah, so Tommy ended up killing Teresa. I know that was like the hardest thing he ever had to do. That was really, really crazy. But it needed to happen. So Tommy, after Tommy killed Teresa, he goes home to his mama, telling his mama that she was right. He got in the bed with her and he was just laying down. You know how like a kid just over it and they're a child and they don't know like really what to do, but they just want to be in their mama's arms. That's what Tommy did. And then the mom was like, you did the right thing. She just was laying there consoling him. I said, oh. She told her son he could do the right thing by killing his daddy. Ain't that cute? And Tommy was there all crying and stuff. That was so sad. Yeah, he had to kill his daddy, but it was either kill your dad or go to jail. Cause you know he knew Tommy's whole operation, and he know he was gonna come after Ghost too. Cause he been Ghost. That's why Ghost was like, do not tell him all the stuff. You know Tommy's whole operation, his connect, where he hold the money, how he clean the money, and all this stuff. So with Teresa there, they can't really use Teresa anyways, because they can't use his testimony or whatever. Because number one, he was a criminal, and number two, they can't cross-examine wiretaps or what he told them, like, and they wrote it down on paper. Because I don't think he was ever wearing a wire. Then we see Proctor. He goes to see Ghost because Mark and Sax, they keep harassing this man about giving information on Ghost. So he ended up telling them, all right, give me a piece of, I forgot what the thing called. Give me something that's going to say that, because he agreed to wear his wire, that's going to say that whatever he don't say and do say, is going to be my last and final recording. So they keep harassing him by getting information on his client. So he goes to see Ghost at the little club, and he was like, Ghost was like, you keep popping up, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, Ghost done got suspicious. Because last episode, he wouldn't tell Proctor nothing. Proctor kept on saying, I want to help you. Because before, Proctor kept on saying he didn't want to know nothing. But now, all of a sudden, he want to help him. And then he was like, Proctor was like, yeah, you know I'm not your lawyer now. Even since I'm back a lawyer, can you never pay my retainer fee? So he wanted to get that out of the way just to show that it's not client lawyer privilege or whatever. So I'm assuming that's why he said that. And Ghost was like, yeah, because we like family. Every time I'm in trouble and I need something, you always there. So when he said that, that opened up a soft spot for Proctor. So Proctor wrote on the little piece of paper, I'm wearing a wire. And Ghost looked like he wanted to just rip his heart out his chest and just feed it to him like on Jason. But they were just talking, and he was trying to get him to catch Angela, because they still trying to catch Angela. And he was like, well, how did you know about Sandoval being in jail? He was like, I didn't know he was in there. And he was like, you don't know who may have known like his location? Angela didn't know? And you, of course, it's the soft spot for Angela. He was like, no, I don't know. I don't know how she would know. Like, I don't talk to her like that. So he was just still trying to get him information, trying to get him to say stuff, by still kind of coaching him and having a regular conversation. But Ghost didn't really say anything, of course, because he knew he was wearing a wire. So Proctor ended up pulling the wire off, and Ghost looked like he wanted to just throw him across that banister. He had him hanging over there like he was Suge Knight. And he told him, I can't believe you would do that. He was like, well, they keep threatening me and my child. And he was like, if I wanted to take you down, I wouldn't have told you I was wearing a wire. Which is true. He wouldn't have told him that he was wearing a wire. And Ghost ended up like releasing him or whatever. And that was the end of that. So we get back at the office with Angela, and they was in there celebrating still with no, they had like a little meeting or whatever. And not Tasha. So back at the office, they was having a little meeting or whatever, and Tamika came in there, and Angela came in. She was like, I ain't see this on the board. So what's going on? And they told her to have a seat, and it was like she been working with James St. Patrick and Tommy Egan and all them. And she was like, what are you talking about? He was like, we told you, this was a test. We told you that Teresi was the CI, and now Teresi's dead. You know, nobody know his location and all that stuff. But we told you, and then just so coincidentally, the next day he's dead. And they told her that they got about to take her down. And she better snitch on James. This is James St. Patrick and Tommy and all of them, or her, that they know she's a part of their criminal organization, and how she been working with them and giving them all kind of information. And she's just looking at like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah, you knew it was coming, but we'll see how she get out of this, because she always seems to find a way to get out. So we see her say, I don't know if it was the end of this episode or the beginning of this episode. She was like, well, can I just have 24 hours to think about it? And then the little time thing started clicking. But yeah, so that's what my review recap of Power Season 5, Episode 9. This is Snitch Among Us. I didn't want to make this video too long. If I missed anything, put it in the comments that you thought was important. Put it down there, because this is just going off the top of my dome. I watched the episode Sunday. Today's Friday. So this is just like going by my memory. I'm trying to think of anything else important that happened. I don't think it did, but all my social media links are down below. Go ahead and thumbs up this video and share this video and like this video. Thank you for coming back and watching me. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching me. Bye.